Hello and welcome to Blockchain Silver, the place where we analyze what in the world is going on in crypto. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin SV. Use them to your advantage. Warning, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment purposes only. It is best to do your own due diligence, form your own conclusions, and invest based on your opinion of the market. Cryptocurrency markets are highly speculative and may lose value. Be safe out there. So there's something I've been noticing with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin SV. Now, I'm a firm believer in Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin Cash. I do own some Bitcoin SV. From time to time, I own all three. Sometimes I only own one. It just depends how I feel, what the charts are showing. And so what I've noticed in the past with Bitcoin SV is that now that we're starting to get a little bit of history on it, it generally moves first. And just bear with me. I'm going to show you on some charts here how this one it's kind of like a harbinger of what's to come. And so Bitcoin SV moves first, Bitcoin Cash moves second, and usually it moves pretty quickly in tandem with SV. And then Bitcoin will be the last one to move. And so we're going to look at May 30th because it would have been smart to get out of either Bitcoin SV or Bitcoin Cash or both of them if you were in both, and get into Bitcoin because it rose an additional 58% after that. And you just take the 13,840 of what Bitcoin went to and what it was at the time on May 30th. These other two, Bitcoin SV and Bitcoin Cash, they didn't go up very much. They only went up a few dollars after that. And Bitcoin had an additional rise of 58%. And also I've noticed with Bitcoin SV, if it's the first one to fall, that now it's showing it's the first one to rise. And so let's take a look. So here's Bitcoin SV, a 1 month. This is just a standard 1 month chart from today. I pulled it today. Goes back 1 month. If we notice right here, the 26th of September, Bitcoin SV found its bottom on the 24th of September. And from there, it never revisited those bottoms. Now, I didn't zoom in on every single day to see if there was like a quick flash crash. But it found that bottom. And as you can notice here, we had just a slight ascension from that bottom. And then it finally broke out today out of its trend channel. And so Bitcoin Cash, it found its bottom. If you notice here, the 26th, it was after the 26th, or actually it might have been right on the 26th. So SV, like the 24th, Bitcoin Cash, 1 month chart pulled today. And same thing, it found the bottom after. Then we got Bitcoin here, 1 month pulled today. It found its bottom on the 30th of September. Sure, it fell with SV and Bitcoin Cash, but then it found its bottom later on. And so you can use all of these to your advantage. So let's actually take a look at it in real time. All right, so here is Bitcoin SV. Today on October 21st, trading for $105. It's up considerably against Bitcoin. And so let's look at, so let's do the 1 month first to get that out of the way. September 24th at 1529 UTC. So it finds its bottom. Bitcoin Cash, this is the 1 month. BCH, today it's trading at 232. And it finds its bottom on September 26th. Then let's go to Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin. trading at 82.57 on October 21st, 2019. It found its bottom September 30th. And I do know, I think there was a flash crash in here somewhere, but all I'm getting at is that it was BitcoinSV, then Bitcoin Cash, then Bitcoin. And so really you can just use BitcoinSV as a harbinger of what's to come. And so now we make some trend channels for BitcoinSV. This is on the 1 month as well. So now BitcoinSV just bounced, had quite a few of them, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it finally broke out today, or it might have been even yesterday, out of that trend line. And so now it's the first one to rise. And so now we look at Bitcoin Cash. Same thing, it's following the trend in this trend channel here. 1, 2, didn't really quite touch, but it did up here. Didn't touch on the 3, but did on the 4, and then did on the 5. Now, I don't think Bitcoin Cash will have a 6 and a 7, and here's why. Because this one's already breaking out. I wouldn't be surprised now if Bitcoin Cash, maybe in another day or two, it starts to break out. And then same thing with Bitcoin. So now this here is Bitcoin on a 1 month. And you could even count this as number 1 if you want, this or this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could even say this is 5 or just anywhere in here. Same thing with Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to have a long 0.5 and then, or I'm sorry, 0.6 and then 0.7. Generally they do move together. BitcoinSV though really followed this trend channel nicely. I've been watching this one for the last month. And so now it breaks out, and I wouldn't be surprised Bitcoin Cash and BitcoinSV does something similar, but I don't think that BitcoinSV is over with. Generally, there will be an equal and opposite reaction from every action. So the action was down, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go to maybe anywhere between 110, 120. They'll usually go back to where they were before once they get out of their downward or even their upward movement. And so let's take a look. Let's do a 1 year now. And so we're getting some movement. And so now, oh, you know what? Let's go back to my earlier rules or just notes, that not necessarily rules. The markets can change. So BitcoinSV moves first, then Bitcoin Cash, then Bitcoin. So now let's look at this time frame here. This is important, this May 30th time frame. All right, so BitcoinSV, let's go out a year. And actually, I don't even think, yeah, it's not even a year old, but it will be soon. So, all right, so May 30th, and look at the time frame next to May 30th. See how it says 024411? Let's just say that's 2 in the morning. That's UTC time zone. I used to remember what that was. I think it's either 2 hours ahead or behind me, but it's about 2 in the morning. Let's just say it's 2 in the morning somewhere anyway. So if we look at the 1 year on Bitcoin Cash on May 30th, now see how this says 11:40, right next to the May 30th, it says 11:42. So that was almost noon. So Bitcoin SV, it really wouldn't have been wise to stay in Bitcoin SV after May 30th because it only rose another from the 226, 230. It only rose another $5 or $10. So it would have been wise to look for another trade at that time. And same thing with Bitcoin Cash, May 30th at about noon, $471. It wouldn't have been wise to stay in it for another month just to make another, $30, $35 to go from let's just say 470 to 505, 504, 505. And I know it went to like 515 on this day. And so, and you might be thinking, well, how, what would be the other trade? Well, it would be Bitcoin if you want to play it safe. And so how can you tell? I love the commodity channel index. This is by far, I'm not big on indicators, but I will use them from time to time to, if I need to seal something, if I'm pretty sure on the charts and the math and everything, but I'm still just a little bit of doubt, like could it go higher? The commodity channel index, now you can't see it here and I apologize for that, but this is BitcoinSV priced in Bitcoin. And so we look at this, and right here, the commodity channel index, when it's up, when you're looking at the asset priced in Bitcoin, when it's up here, that's time to get out. Now, not here. You generally kind of want to wait for it to start to come down. In the stock RSI, I'll show you that too. The only bad thing with BitcoinSV is that the stock RSI really wasn't established yet at the time. You just had the blue line at this time. But on the commodity channel index, it was, and it was showing a low point on the 13th of May. Generally, you want to wait for them to come up and touch right here. When they do, that's time to go. And then from here, now the problem is that if you would have waited till here, then you would have missed it on Bitcoin. And so generally, a top area that was 182, that would have been a good time to exit. And so we look at Bitcoin Cash, or I'm sorry, we look at Bitcoin. Now we go out 1 year. And so, and let's do the same with Bitcoin Cash, 1 year. So we already looked at the May 30th. Wouldn't have been smart to stay in. Now Bitcoin on May 30th, and we say, okay, 87.24. That was one of my calculations on one of my earlier slides. And so from there, it rose an additional 12. It went to, it ended up going to like 13.8 or 13.9 on June 26th. So how would you have known at this time that Bitcoin was a trade to go into? So one thing we can look at is Bitcoin priced in dollars. And so actually let's do it on HitBTC, because we can go out. We're doing everything weekly. And so Bitcoin priced in dollars. So weekly, it was still, the commodity channel index was coming down. And if we zoom in and go to daily, so the daily was max, but the other ones could have been as well. And so generally what I use is Bitcoin in dollars and then everything else priced in Bitcoin. And that usually gives me a pretty good indication. And so May 30th, showing that Bitcoin also priced in dollars was topped. And so Elliott wave would have been the only other thing. And then we would have had to know that we're in a wave 5 at that point. So, but from this point here, BitcoinSV was showing. And so no matter what, Bitcoin, we go to Bitcoin, BitcoinSV priced in Bitcoin. And we go back weekly, even on the daily, it would have shown the same thing. And so it's telling you it's the right one to get out of if you were in BitcoinSV. And so that's how you can use all of these to your advantage. And so let's do the same with Bitcoin Cash. On the weekly, oh yeah, and that one's not established yet either. So, but now that they're established, now you can use the commodity channel index, BitcoinSV and Bitcoin Cash. You can use them to your advantage because now we've got the data on them. And so we go back. And so now my original idea was that now BitcoinSV has broken out. Bitcoin Cash has not yet. Bitcoin has not, but I'm expecting them to because BitcoinSV is doing it. It's already doing it now. It's broken out. So it'll go usually to where they've been. And I continue on a long-term time frame. It'll look something like this. Goes down, goes back up, and then it continues on its path. And so that's it for today. If you liked the video, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I want to thank you for coming over to Blockchain Silver. And remember to stay safe out there.